Hey, hi, how you doing? This is the Gamertron, and welcome back to the Gamertron Show. Devil May Cry, a video game series and franchise popular for its main protagonist and its wild and crazy demon-slaying action. With guns firing, bullets flying, and swords a-swinging, the Devil May Cry franchise is a franchise you remember for its crazy, wild action. Whether it be the original Capcom games or the reboot, remake, spin-off, DMC Devil May Cry, made by Ninja Theory. Now, I've given my opinions on DMC and the original Devil May Cry several times, but just to reiterate for the sake of this video, I love DMC and the original Devil May Crys equally. Hell, I might like the new Devil May Cry just a bit more. But I hold no ill will to the games or the people that make them, unlike other irrational, immature, crazy people. Now, while it's unfortunate that I feel the need to make this video, and I don't like making videos that are more negative and more like a rant, I unfortunately, as I just said, feel the need to make this video and point out some of the hypocrisy from Capcom and Devil May Cry fans. And this is regarding Devil May Cry 4 Special Edition, and how it isn't all that special. Now, keep in mind, I am specifically talking about the PC version of both Devil May Cry 4 and Devil May Cry 4 Special Edition. Just keep that in mind, this is me talking about the PC version. Now, before we get into the negatives, let's talk about the positives. The original Devil May Cry came out in 2008. This is a 7-year-old game, and Capcom has done a decent job in updating the visuals slightly. You can tell there's slightly better textures, there's slightly better lighting. Then again, the game engine they were using 7 years ago was a pretty good graphics engine, and it still holds up today. It's very colorful, and there are not a lot of blurry textures, and there is pretty good lighting. And of course, the most advertised aspect about this new Devil May Cry, this special edition, are the new characters. You get to play as Virgil, Trish, and Lady. Mainstay Devil May Cry characters are now playable in the Special Edition, along with the already playable characters Nero and Dante, adding a lot more replayability and value to the product. And playing as the new characters is quite a bit of fun, especially Virgil. Virgil is quick, agile, and extremely deadly. His moves are both fast, flashy, and efficient. Really like Virgil, really fun playing as him. Trish and Lady are also fun, but they're not as well developed as the other characters. Unfortunately, our female playable characters here don't feel as well constructed as the male characters. They have noticeably less moves and less combos, and usually rely on one specific or two specific attacks to get along in combat. But hey, that's just my personal experience, that's just my personal opinion. If you've played as Trish and Lady and you absolutely love playing as them, good for you. I, on the other hand, didn't enjoy playing them as much as the male characters. Other positives include, it's Devil May Cry 4. Devil May Cry 4 was a good game, a good action-adventure platformer puzzle game. And that still remains here. The excellent boss battles have returned. The excellent Bloody Palace Survival Horde mode has returned. The tons of different crazy difficulty levels have returned. Those classic levels and locations from Devil May Cry 4 have returned. It's not the same game, but this is a more refined version of DMC4, and the definitive superior version. If any of you plan on picking up Devil May Cry 4, the Special Edition is the way to go. However, although DMC4 Special Edition is a better game than the original DMC4, it still has unsolved issues, and brings up some new issues with this Special Edition. Issue number 1. This is specific to the PC version of the game. There is still no mouse support in the gameplay. Oh, you can use the mouse in the main menus, and you can see the mouse on screen. You can move it around, which is pretty cheap and lazy. I mean, I shouldn't be able to see my mouse cursor on screen. In-game, I mean, that's pretty lazy. It's a 7-year-old game and you couldn't patch that? Oh yeah, and it's a 7-year-old game. You really couldn't use the mouse? I mean, the mouse is on screen. I can use it in the menus. I see the cursor. The mouse is obviously playing a part in the game. Why can I not assign button actions, button assignments? Why can I not assign controls to the mouse? Why can I not have my attack button be the mouse? Left mouse click, right mouse click. Why? Why, Capcom? Why? DMC, Devil May Cry has this. The mouse is fully utilized, yet you're telling me this updated, super special edition of a 7-year-old game, which, by the way, the original Devil May Cry 4 didn't use the mouse either. You're telling me this update of a 7-year-old game, you still couldn't implement mouse control? Really? This is either a huge oversight or extreme laziness. And I'm sorry, this is unacceptable for a PC game nowadays. This is having zero mouse support. Well, not zero. I'm sorry, like 50-40% mouse support in your game is unacceptable. And this is an updated, this is a special edition, this is a remaster, and there's still no mouse support. Even though the last Devil May Cry game, even though it's technically not a Devil May Cry game, you know what I mean. DMC Devil May Cry, even though that had mouse support, this 7-year-old game, this updated 7-year-old game, yes, I sound like a broken record, doesn't have mouse support. Sorry, I just can't get over that. I really can't. That is either a huge, dumbfounding oversight or extreme laziness on Capcom's part that the PC version of the game still does not utilize the mouse. Now, two new issues that arise from the Special Edition, and this is only for the Special Edition, is that with the introduction of new characters, playing as new characters, you would think they'd perhaps get their own campaigns, get their own levels. Nope. You see, the new characters and their new story, I say in air quotes, story campaigns, they have opening and ending cutscenes, but you're basically replaying the same levels in the same order, the same missions. You're basically replaying Devil May Cry 4, Nero and Dante's campaign. You're basically replaying those campaigns with different characters. There are no new levels, no new locations, and the levels and locations aren't even expanded upon or changed for the new characters. You are literally just replaying the same game with the same levels over and over again with different characters. Now, that's not necessarily a big deal to me. I don't find an issue with that. I replay games all the time. I replay levels all the time. And being able to replay levels with different characters does add new variety, more value, and a new added fun factor to the game. So, while this isn't a big problem for me, I can see this being a problem for other people. When you expect to play as a new character, you expect to play as a new character with new levels. I mean, just to give another example, with DMC, Devil May Cry, with Virgil's campaign, when they added the DLC expansion that let you play as Virgil, Virgil got his own story campaign, his own cutscenes, multiple cutscenes, and his own levels. They were not copy-paste reused from Dante's campaign. Huh? A 7-year-old game, like, you didn't need to create completely new levels, but you couldn't edit or change the levels even slightly to fit the different characters? It's a 7-year-old game. This is a 7-year-old graphics engine. Not even minor changes could have been made? Oh well. Again, while this isn't the big problem for me, I can see this being a problem for other people. I mean, for instance, say you beat the Nero Dante campaign, and then you move on to Virgil's campaign, and you were expecting new levels, maybe new enemies, maybe new boss battles. Nope, you are replaying Dante's Nero's campaign with Virgil, with Trish, with Lady. And that's going to turn some people off, unfortunately. And now, the final, most glaring issue, next to the lack of a mouse, next to the lack of new levels with new characters, is this. It has DLC. A remaster of a 7-year-old game has DLC. And let's take a look at this DLC. We've got Super Nero Dante Virgil unlocks the super versions of Nero Dante and Virgil. Take on your enemies in a state of constant Devil Trigger. Basically, pay $5 and you get an overpowered super mode that makes the game easier. Now, don't get me wrong, I can absolutely see the fun in having an infinite super mode. Like, of course, that would be fun. But say you get this right off the gate. Say a new player gets this game, gets that DLC. They have the option to pay $5 and make the game extremely easy. Have infinite super mode. Granted, this will vary from person to person, but I'm just saying, that option's there for $5. Couldn't have just let this be a cheat or an unlock after you beat the game. No, you have to pay $5 for it. Then we have the Lady and Trish costumes for $4.30. 2 costumes for $4.30. I guess that's an okay price, but still, this is day 1 DLC. You couldn't have added it in that game for free, couldn't have had those costumes as rewards for beating their levels and campaigns? Ah well. Next up, probably the most insulting of all the DLC, unlock all modes. Unlock all modes for $1.80, basically $2. Unlock all game modes in the game for $2. This does not unlock the missions or context within the modes themselves. Well, that's nice to know, but still, this basically eradicates progression and reward in the game. Like, why did you play the Devil May Cry 4 campaign to begin with? To unlock the other modes, to unlock the other difficulties, to unlock the Bloody Palace. And this basically destroys that progression, that player progression. Now, granted, before anyone calls me a hypocrite, I did buy the unlock all modes for $2. But that's only because I own and played multiple times Devil May Cry 4, the original Devil May Cry 4, and I have a YouTube channel. I need to get content out to you guys, and I really don't have time to spend all those hours unlocking the other modes. So I kind of have an excuse as a YouTube content creator. But for the average gamer, the average player, they basically have the option to destroy any and all player progression. Ah, well, maybe this isn't that big of a deal. You know what? Maybe this isn't that big of a deal. Sure, will vary from person to person, but hey, you have a life, you have time, maybe you don't want to waste time unlocking all those game modes and you want to play a certain mode right away. You know what? Maybe $2 for that isn't too big of a deal. Okay, there's a bit more DLC. Surely it doesn't get what... Blue orbs? Proud souls? And red orbs? Health and money. That's... For those of you who don't know, blue orbs give you health. They add more health to your health bar, and you obtain blue orbs in-game. Same thing with Proud Souls. You earn Proud Souls for beating levels. You gain red orbs for playing levels. So basically, currency and health upgrades are for sale. These are microtransactions. This isn't DLC. These are microtransactions. You can get health and money, in-game currency, by paying real money. So you can, again, you can break player progression. You can break the game progression by just throwing real-world money at the game. I'm sorry. I was okay with the rest of the DLC, the costumes, unlock all modes, the super modes. I was okay with that. But these are microtransactions. You can buy health upgrades and in-game currency with real money. I'm sorry, this shit is disgusting. This is foul. This is wrong. This is just damn wrong. This is exploitative and insulting. And keep in mind, this is all day 1 DLC. All this DLC came out day 1. Day 1 game was released. Now, before I end this video, I want to take a look at DMC Devil May Cry's DLC. And this is it. This is all of DMC Devil May Cry's DLC. Doesn't seem as extensive or pricey as DMC 4 Special Edition's DLC now, does it? And it's honestly has better value. Also, keep in mind, none of the DLC here, none of the DLC listed was day 1. All of this DLC came out months after the original release of the game, which is what DLC should be. Should not be day 1. DLC should be downloadable content that was made after the game was released, which is what DLC should be, which is what this is. Now let's take a look. DMC Devil May Cry Virgil's Downfall. Be able to play as Virgil in a new chapter with new levels. $10 basically, round that off to $10. $10 for a new character with new levels, multiple difficulties, different costumes? I'd say that's about worth $10. That's a reasonable price. Let's take a look at this. The costume pack. Oh my goodness, you're actually getting a lot of costumes. $4 for multiple costumes. Wasn't it $4, actually $4 and something cents, for only 2 costumes in the Special Editions DLC? Oh, look at this! Weapons! $2 for free weapon packs. They're basically just weapon skins, but still, $2 for free packs of weapon skins? That's a pretty good deal. And finally, we have the completely free download of the Bloody Palace mode, where DMC4 Special Edition, you had to pay $2 to unlock all the game modes. With DMC, Bloody Palace is completely free and only requires a quick download. Alright, I don't want this video to go on too long. We're getting close to the 20-minute mark here. I just want to say, Devil May Cry fans, Capcom fans, get your heads out of your asses and into the game. Devil May Cry 4 Special Edition is a good game, but it has obvious, glaring problems and is, in some ways, this remaster of a 7-year-old game is in some ways even a lesser product than the game so many Devil May Cry fans hate so much, DMC Devil May Cry. DMC Devil May Cry has total mouse support for its PC version. Its other playable character has his own levels. Oh yeah, and the DLC is completely reasonable and fair. The Special Edition, on the other hand, no mouse support, no new levels for the new characters, and I'm sorry, but the DLC present is atrocious. And there's microtransactions. A 7-year-old remaster of a game has bloody microtransactions. Perhaps we should praise Capcom for certain things and not others. If you truly love Devil May Cry, you gotta put your money where your mouth is. Anyways, this has been the video. I hope you Devil May Cry fans out there don't hate it too much and get at least some of what I'm saying. For everyone else, I hope you liked the video. If you liked the video, please hit the like button. Hitting the like button helps you, helps me, helps everybody involved with the video. If you hit the like button, please leave a comment. What are your thoughts on DMC Devil May Cry? What are your thoughts on DMC 4 Special Edition? What do you think of me comparing the games? What do you think of the DLC practices? What do you think of both games overall? Let me know your thoughts, feelings, and opinions in the comment section below. I love getting comments. I don't get nearly enough comments. Please leave a comment. And finally, I am the Gamertron. I love video games. I love talking about video games. And if that's something that interests you, please consider supporting my channel by subscribing to me. This has been a video, and I will see you guys later.